Troll Nation, welcome back to Telesplash Gaming. I'm Chris. Thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me today. And you know what? Typically I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I like to look at the good, talk about the positive. But you know what? I've got a saying. If you don't have anything good to say, come sit down next to me. And every once in a while you want to hear about the bad stuff. So today I'm talking about gaming's disappointments of 2018. So stick around and let's take a look. Alright, first things first, there's no denying it. I'm going to go right out for the jugular and cut it up with the PlayStation Classic. Now, what do I need to say that hasn't already been said? This thing is massively disappointing. I haven't even opened it. I bought it because it's a great bookend for some of the great games that I actually own. So, the PlayStation Classic was disappointing. Once the game list was revealed, there was already some disgruntled members of the gaming community, and then from there, it just got worse. Luckily, there has been some hacks and mods, so hey, there's still hope. But for 2018, big disappointment. You know, Telltale going out of business. That hurt me a little bit, mainly because I just got into the Batman Telltale series, and I absolutely love it. But along with that, they've made The Walking Dead, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Wolf Among Us. It's really a shame that this studio is gone. But you know what? With crunch time demands and lack of kind of reinvention, it's led to kind of a last-minute company-wide meeting, and they said, we're done. This is it. So I think the writing was on the wall earlier, but as a gamer, I just didn't see it, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks. So it's really disappointing that Telltale is no longer with us. Alright, I'm going back to another easy one, and that's Fallout 76. But if I didn't have it on this list, I know I'd hear people talk about it. Fallout 76 was supposed to be the next big thing in the Fallout series. And you know what? It was. It was the next big hot Carl, because it sucked. It is absolutely terrible. To go from a game like Fallout 4, which was universally praised and most people liked it, to this online piece of garbage? I mean, it literally is a server-sucking leech of a game, and my brother-in-law, who loves Fallout and never complains about games, even he is like, it's not that good. And that's him just being real. So, you know, frankly, people find the game boring. It felt rushed because of the holiday season. Maybe they put 6 more months into it. It could have been a better game. But I think they just wanted to put it out. The beta wasn't good. Nothing really changed. There's not enough NPCs. You're basically in this barren wasteland playing a game. That's probably enough about Fallout. I can't be the only one that thought being a pirate would have been cool. To go back hundreds of years ago, sail the seas, you know, collect some booty, find sunken treasure. I mean, all these things. And we got that with Sea of Thieves, which was really fun in the beginning. But the part that we didn't think about is that it can also become extremely repetitive. It's pretty boring. Once you go to a couple islands, you find your sunken treasure, you just sit around, you get drunk, and you don't do anything else. And unfortunately, Sea of Thieves is really ambitious and a cool idea, but nothing really ever came of it. Once you get past that initial wow factor, it just becomes a sailing game where you're going around, you're trying to take over somebody else's ship, and they come back and kill you. So at the end of the day, Sea of Thieves, even though it's a cool game, it was a little bit of a disappointment. But hopefully, they can add on to it. It's an ongoing server, it's an ongoing game, so maybe they'll keep adding stuff to it. So it's not, the hope is not over for that game, but as of right now, still disappointing. The next disappointment on my list is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now, this is not a bad game. It's just kind of inconsistent among gamers and even news outlets on where it stands in the franchise. Some love it and think of it as a progressive game, a fantastic revival of their, tried and true Tomb Raider series, and others thought it was kind of boring and didn't really like it. But what it comes down to is the sales numbers just weren't that great, and that's what's disappointing. Because I love it when these franchises can reboot, be successful, and keep going. But unfortunately, the sales numbers have kind of declined. It's well behind the initial release, and it's barely hanging on to the sequel, but the sequel was released on one platform initially. This one was released all over the place, and its sales numbers aren't even that great. So that's the disappointing part, is we may not see another Tomb Raider for a while because of the sales numbers. Next one is definitely a personal choice that really doesn't get a lot of love, and for obvious reasons. That's Dynasty Warriors 9. Now somehow I got Dynasty Warriors 2 for my PlayStation 2 back in the day, and I loved the mindless hack and slash that followed. It doesn't take a lot of skill, a lot of button presses, but I just loved plowing through hordes and hordes of enemies. And you know what, with Dynasty Warriors 9, they were going to go open world because that's the cool thing to do. All the cool gamers are going open world. So Dynasty Warriors had to follow. And what could have been, didn't happen. Instead, you've got this open world where it's spread out, it's pretty boring, there's a pretty lame crafting system, and initially there wasn't even any co-op. They have rectified that, luckily, because Dynasty Warriors was like a great co-op with a friend. To come out with the original Dynasty Warriors 9 name and not have co-op was a major travesty. But luckily they've at least rectified that, but I don't think they can fix the gameplay. Definitely disappointing for Dynasty Warriors fans. I'm going after PlayStation because they're pulling out of E3 next year. And as a fan of E3, I've never been, but I love watching it. I love seeing it. And to have all of the big dogs in one location at the same time is always so cool. It's kind of a magical feeling among gamers and developers and I mean, everybody involved in the gaming industry. E3 is it. So to hear that one of the big three is pulling out is really disappointing. Now, Sony's smart. I'm sure they have a plan in place. But at the end of the day, from a 100% gamer's perspective, it's a bummer. You know, if you're going to E3, you want to see everything released there. I mean, they had a great showing with Spider-Man and stuff this year, and now we're going to have to wait for their own personal press conference, their own event, which is fine, but to have them all together at E3 is really cool. It's like having all your favorite bands at one big concert, and then your favorite one pulls out. It's kind of like, well, I mean, I'm still going to go and enjoy it, but it's a bummer we couldn't get them all at once. Last up my list is PUBG. And the reason I say that is because PUBG is a perfect example of what could have been. PUBG was what everybody was talking about, why I bought my Xbox, that and Cuphead. And I played it, I loved it, but the controls were a little wonky, it wasn't very smooth, you know, but it was still kind of like the beta version. It wasn't quite ready, it wasn't quite finished. And then I played Fortnite, and Fortnite was cartoony, but it was smooth, and everything you did felt good. I hated the building, but I wanted to love PUBG more. But at the end of the day, PUBG has stayed really stagnant, and Fortnite has changed with the times, and they're catering to the gamers. And Fortnite has done it right, and I don't even like Fortnite. And PUBG is stuck in the dust. And the best example is I had a friend come over who'd been playing PUBG on his phone for like 6 months. We played on the Xbox, and he's like, this is garbage. My phone runs it way better. And you know what? He's right. And it hasn't changed. Well, what do you guys think? Did I cover the big bases? Did I miss anything? I want to know what your disappointing moments of 2018 were. Also, don't forget, this video is eligible for the NES Classic giveaway. All you have to do is like, comment, be a subscriber, and I'll put your name in the list and we'll do a drawing on the 24th of December. So, guys, NES Classic? Who doesn't want one? With that being said, keep rolling, keep trolling. We'll talk to you soon.